Okay, so we're officially on the record. No.
Should we get started, Maureen, or do we have more folks?
Yeah, it looks like the waiting room slowed down, so I'll just let people in as they go. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and kick us off.
Okay, we'll get started. Well, it's great to see you all again. Many of you we have met before. I am Megan Kearsley. I'm the Court Improvement Program Coordinator at the State Court Administrator's Office, but I'm also the Project Director for the Regional Partnership Grant, which is the grant that oversees this project. We are here today to talk about the COPE project. And COPE, just to refresh your memory, stands for Circle of Parents Expansion. And this is a project that is done in partnership with Dancer. And so we are, I know that we have talked to all of you about this project since about 2019. And so it's for some of you, it's been a while, but just wanted to reorient you back to this project. We've made some pretty significant changes since we last presented. We have found that many of our process assumptions that we had prior or we had before weren't accurate, and also that they were impacted by COVID. And much of our plan was created before COVID hit, and so with the switch to virtual court hearings and lots of different complicating factors across Colorado, we needed to be responsive to those challenges and make some changes to this project that would really open up access to Circle of Parents in Recovery to more parents in our Dancer sites. And so we're really, really excited to share with you what your role is in helping families access Circle of Parents in Recovery and the COPE intervention as a whole. So that's what we're doing here today. At any point, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Some of you have varying levels of understanding of this project, and so certainly we're going to attempt to speak to these various degrees of understanding. But if there are any questions, please put it in the chat so that we are not leaving anybody without the details they need to understand where we're at. Before we get started, I think, Joan, if you want to share the screen, that way we can really talk about the partners that we have on this project. We're going to do some introductions, and then, Joan, you want to go back to that last slide? Sorry. We'll provide you a pretty thorough overview of Circle of Parents, hear from Circle of Parents facilitators and from Jefferson County's Judge Meinster, who has worked with Circle of Parents in Recovery for a long time, and she's got some words to share with us. We will provide you with an update on the changes to our evaluation plan, and then go into really what you can do as part of this project. And so be looking out for some pretty specific instructions on how you can support this project. So we'll go into introductions. As you might remember, our planning team has a few partners that we have brought to the table. They were part of our application process and remain active as we have implemented and then made some changes to our implementation. So Colorado Judicial Branch was the grantee agency for this grant, but we've partnered with the Office of Respondent Parent Council. We've partnered with the CDHS, both the Office of Child Welfare and also the Office of Behavioral Health. Both of them provide unique expertise and perspective, and that partnership is incredibly important to us. We also have Illuminate Colorado. They are the agency that oversees Circle of Parents in Recovery. Certainly, this is a partnership that we value tremendously, is overseeing this worthy intervention. We've got RTI and the Kemp Center, who are providing our evaluation services and really helping to helping us to design how we're going to show what we're learning from this project and learning about the outcomes to families, which Dallas will talk a little bit more about later. And then we've got Grade Speak Strategy, Maureen, who has helped with grant management and really keeping us focused and on track for the life of the grant. So we've got a number of different really important partners at the table, again, really representing different disciplines and perspectives. At this point, we're going to spend time talking about Circle of Parents in Recovery. And if you're not familiar with it, we want to give you the information you need. And if you are familiar, it's always nice to hear what this model does and how it supports parents who are impacted by substance use. I'm going to turn it to Candice at Illuminate.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Megan. I'm Candice Bataille, the manager of Circle of Parents. And I just want to share with you a little bit of background of what Circle of Parents is and what it does for the communities. So basically, Circle of Parents is a peer support program, and it's designed for anybody in a parental role or a caregiving role. It's a program that is a national model. And in Colorado, Illuminate Colorado, it's the organization that hosts Circle of Parents. So if any community organization wants to host a Circle of Parents for Colorado, they connect with us and we provide all the support that it needs in order to make it a successful program. So again, it's a peer support program. It is not therapy. It is simply parents supporting other parents with the assistance of a facilitator that is trained by us and that holds the meeting and holds the space week after week or once a month, whenever that community decides to meet. And the overall mission of the program is, you know, the reducing child maltreatment and preventing it, and strengthening families through this model of mutual self and help support between parents. Yeah, next slide. Some of the characteristics is that it's a friendly, culturally responsive, it provides a safe space, and it's a supportive environment led by parents and other caregivers. It's a space, like we said, where anybody in a parenting role can discuss their successes and challenges of raising children. They can find and share support. And again, this is not therapy. It is not treatment. It's simply a group that you can rely on the community, where trust is built and confidentiality is maintained. And when you build that trust, then you feel like you are part of something larger. And we reduce that isolation that often strikes a lot of parents that are going through recovery, and provide ideas for how to enrich their role as parents and caregivers. Next slide. And so the foundations of the model, which is what makes the model, it's almost like we can see this house that holds the model. Number one is that mutual self-help. Like I said, there is a facilitator, but is the parents sharing their experiences in their process of being a parent that supports other parents to gain new ideas and new insights about how to better parent, how to treat themselves better, as well, how to stop judging themselves, right? It's a shared leadership model in which we highly encourage that parents start building the leadership skills by either helping organize the meetings, doing communication, supporting the main facilitator, helping organize maybe the meals that take place before the meeting. So it really supports the building of the leadership and self-esteem for those parents that oftentimes going through the judicial process or coming out of substance use diminishes self-esteem. This builds back their concept of self. This builds back their capacity to lead and their capacity to really show up for their family. Definitely is based on family support. And then the other aspect of it is that we try to encourage knowledge and application of the protective factors which is concrete supports in time of needs for parents, knowledge of parenting and child development, social emotional competence of their children. The more they know where their children are social emotionally, the interventions in terms of behavior correction and in terms of developing skills will be more effective. It provides social connections because there's other parents in the community. It's a healthy community that they can come to, and positive community. And then it builds parental resilience, right? That capacity that, yes, we're gonna hit difficult moments, but they're gonna be able to get up without having to use substance or having to recur to very violent behaviors, but yet we can really start building from within. So as you can see, it's a very comprehensive model. Next slide. And particularly for parents in recovery, which is what this grant focuses on, and this whole project focuses on. Again, it's a non-traditional type of parent group. We don't come with an agenda that says, you know, this is what we're gonna talk about today. The parents bring their issues to the table, and the facilitator facilitates that conversation. There is no curriculum, it is unstructured, it is non-religions at all. We're very strong about being not judgmental and being trauma informed and just welcoming everybody where they are at, how they are at, with the background that they bring, without judging what they have done, without judging what has happened up until that moment. Just very open. Everything remains confidential, and it becomes a safe space. It is culturally responsive as well. Our facilitators are trained to understand that there are different cultures. Some groups are actually being done in a particular language just to respond to the needs of that particular community. Again, it's parent-led and parent-driven. It offers a positive social network of support for these parents that are going through recovery. It helps rebuild trust in self and in others, right? When their voice is elevated, when they feel heard and they feel seen, they start seeing themselves as a more impactful member of the community versus somebody that has made mistake after mistake and is a nobody, right? So we start building that self-esteem and that concept of self. And again, it supports parents rebuild their relationship with their children. Will the parent feel good about themselves? They are going to build a better relationship with that child, and eventually that will reduce child abuse and neglect. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive model that really, I would say, it's almost like it hugs the parent, right? In a moment of need, when it's particularly parents that are going through recovery. So this is in a nutshell what Circle of Parents is, and we have two facilitators that are very seasoned that have worked in our communities. One of them offers support in Jefferson County, and the other one works out of Montezuma County. So I have with us Tony Miner and Kerry Beatty, and I welcome you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And we have some questions for you. So what is your role within the Circle of Parents program, and which county and community are you located at? Tell us a little bit about the Circle of Parent groups you run and any characteristics of the group. Who would like to start?
I can start. This is Tony. So I facilitate Circle of Parents and Recovery groups, and I have been doing this in Jefferson County since about 2014, I want to say. And you know, the groups that I run, I actually have parents that have been coming for multiple years that I apologize, I'm working from home. That have been, you know, they were a part in the family integrated treatment court that I worked in. And they started with Circle of Parents, and their case is closed, and they still continue to come. And they are actually, a couple of them, my parent leads now. Did that answer the question, Candice?
Beautiful. Thank you, Tony, so much. Kerry, how about your group?
Hi, I'm Kerry Beatty. I run Circle of Parents in Recovery out of Cortez, Colorado, very southwest corner in Colorado. We started up Circle of Parents in Recovery in November of 2020, which was a super trying time. We originally had to launch it online, and we just found that people in recovery need the physical interaction. And so my supervisors, they are amazing. They responded to that action, and we were able to start in 2021 in person. And we've been going strong for that long. So we're going on 2 years now, and it's been amazing. We have other Circle of Parents groups here, and it has been absolutely amazing to add Circle of Parents in Recovery to support and encompass more within our community for those parents.
Thank you so much, Carrie. And next question. So I'm going to start with Carrie this time. What value have you seen through your experience Circle of Parents bring to these parents in recovery in your community? What concrete things these parents gain from being exposed to Circle?
Circles is just, it's so encompassing, and it's such a loving environment. And parents are literally allowed to show up with who they are with no expectation behind showing up. They don't have to speak. They don't have to do anything. But once they're there, they feel connected. They feel integrated into their community. They're able to make connections that they can't make in other groups. And while they also attend, therapy and other things and parenting classes and other ways, this is literally their safe space to be who they are and reveal what they need. And they make connections with other parents, other sober parents. They start building that sober community and that sober support that is so instrumental and so important whenever you have been living in a place of addiction.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Beautiful. Tony?
I echo a lot of what Carrie just said. And, for me, it's really about helping parents that have been beat down by themselves, sometimes by family members, and by society in general. It really helps them to build those leadership skills and hone in on them. And it gives them the belief that there's somebody and that they matter. And they get to bring issues that they have, because all too often, parenting and recovery, you have so much guilt that you bring with you. And anytime their kids might do something, they start acting out, they make bad choices, the parents automatically blame themselves and blame it on their addiction, not realizing that their recovery is such a huge strength for them. And that's something that Circle really helps parents to build on, is the strengths and really the leadership that's already within them. I always tell the families that I work with that I get to plant the seed, and I get to watch them bloom into these beautiful, beautiful flowers. And I get to watch them find their voice. And, really, like I said, it's about the leadership that they gain from being in Circle, and their children as well. Thanks, Candice.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah. And so I'm going to stay with you, Tony. And would you share a little bit, what have you personally gained as a facilitator of Circle of Parents?
Oh man, I learn from the families that I work with, right? They are resource kings and queens, and they are some of the most amazing people that I have ever met in my life. And watching them be able to fulfill their dreams and to push forward when they are up against so many obstacles, that fills me up, right? That helps to keep me full. And I'm a firm believer, being in recovery myself, that we can't keep it if we don't give it back. And not just with the parents, but with the relationships that I have built within Jefferson County and the courts as well.
Thank you so much, Tony. Carrie, would you speak to that? What have you gained from your experience as a facilitator?
Well, Tony did an amazing job of summing it up. Absolutely. As a facilitator, I feel like, yes, we are facilitators, but for the Circle of Parents group, that everyone in that group is involved in running that group. It's not my group. It's not Tony's group. It's what do we need? What do we need in our community? What are our resources? What can we do for each other? And it literally, it has been an absolute blessing to me to be able to go outside. And if somebody needs an outside resource, I can find that. But within the group, we all bring resources into the group. I can bring some of my parenting stuff to the group, and they're like, you need to try this, or hang on, mama, you need to pull it back. And so it's literally this learning lesson from one another. It's interweaving and intermingling roots to build a strong core.
Thank you so much. And last question that we have is, you know, from having worked with other parent programs, what would you say sets Circle of Parents apart from other parent programs offered in the community or the Family Resource Center you work at? Carrie, I'll go with you.
I think the biggest thing that sets circles apart is that nobody's in charge and everyone's responsible for their own learning. We are responsible to learn and grow where we want to, where the group participants want to, and they come in with their own ideas. They say, I need to learn how to love myself. And we say, got it. And allowing meeting people where they are, that's the biggest thing. What do you need? Not let me tell you what you need. And being able to bring that to them and everybody grow and learn from that in that safe space is absolutely phenomenal and epic for someone's growth and healing.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you. And Tony?
Oh, Carrie, you're giving me chills listening to you talk. I love it. I absolutely, yes, I'm about ready to cry myself. I just love it. So, you know, it's about the shared leadership. It's about the mutual self-help that the parents gain from being in Circle. It's about them building their community that they so desperately need to maintain recovery. For me, that's the foundation of all of it, right? Is to just be able to have people that you can relate to, because everyone that comes is a parent that is in recovery or trying to be in recovery. And you really don't get that from anywhere else. Thanks, Candice.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, so as you can see, there's a lot of passion in our facilitators. They see the value day in and day out of what Circle brings. And thank you, Carrie and Tony, for sharing from your experience. This is so valuable. And I will pass it to you, John.
All right, at this point, we're going to hear a couple of words from Judge Meinster and Circle of Parents.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Joan, did you share with sound? Because I'm not hearing it.
Sorry. Is that better? Can you hear? Okay. Maureen, can you cue it up? I'll stop sharing. You cue it up.
Yeah. Can you go on to the next screen and then we'll come back to this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying.
No worries.
if I may, while we're sort of working through some of these technical pieces, one of the things I meant to say earlier in my introduction, but this feels like the right place to say it, is that all of the things that that Carrie and Tony just mentioned about the benefits to families in increasing protective factors and really building a community, that was the basis. That was the reason we felt it was so important to bring Circle of Parents in Recovery to our dancer communities, that we recognized and really applauded dancer sites for making changes in their court processes to expedite access to treatment and really, assess the full needs of families impacted by some substance use. But that what happens outside of the treatment room and what happens outside of the courtroom and what happens when cases close, we really recognize that changing a family's recovery ecosystem was incredibly vital to long-term success. And so, that just to ground us back, and Carrie and Tony just said it so beautifully, to ground us back to why we applied for this grant and why we are where we are, bringing this model to dancer communities.
Okay, I think that was probably just enough time, Megan.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to just talk to you a little bit this morning about Circle of Parents. As you know, as you guys are part of the COPE, the Circle of Parents Expansion Project in Colorado, you have a lot of experience with Circle of Parents. And so I just wanted to get your thoughts this morning.
Well, you're asking me to talk about one of my very favorite programs. We've had Circle of Parents in Jefferson County, not just as part of this pilot, but for years in our family treatment court. And of all the things that we do, and I'm a huge fan of problem-solving courts and treatment courts, of all the things we do and that we offer, I would say there is nothing that has been more successful and more helpful to engage parents and help them achieve long-term sobriety than Circle of Parents. We all know, I think at this point, the importance of early engagement and really building a sustained recovery program for parents. When they leave our courtrooms, we want them to have a solid recovery program. And I think that evidence shows, and anecdotally, I would say that the most important thing is that parents develop really strong support for their recovery program. I'm a huge fan of 12-step programs and other community supports, but Circle of Parents is really unique. I think another thing we've learned in the last years is the effectiveness and the importance of peer support. And that's what Circle of Parents provides. Circle of Parents is almost a 12-step program enhanced, because it's not just other people who are struggling with substance use and maybe in early recovery, a lot of them, and looking for support, but it's parents who are involved in the child welfare system and in court. And that's an additional bond that parents form, and you just can't overstate the effectiveness of that. It's a facilitated group, and that makes it, I think, all the more effective. I have had the opportunity, and it's one of my favorite things to do, to kind of drop in on Circle of Parents over the years, both in person and when we've done it virtually. And I just always walk away thinking, we need to get every parent involved in this. When I watch these parents, often the groups I watch with Tony Miner, I'll put in a plug for Tony. We're so lucky to have her as our facilitator. You've got a group of moms and dads who are maybe eating dinner. They've got their kids there with them, whether it's in person and virtually. And the support that they give each other is just incredible. And I just stay for a few minutes and just say hello to them and thank them for doing this. But the last time I dropped in, I saw parents who were in my family treatment court 5 years ago, and they're still in recovery, and they're offering support to the new parents. But more importantly, they're still getting their they're still getting support from other parents. One of our longtime alums had just lost her mother when I was joined the last time. And just watching the other parents, some of them brand new in recovery, rally around her and support her. It's an awesome thing to watch. And you get to see them with their kids and the kids get to know each other. So I just can't say enough about how effective a program it is. You know, it's not something loose. This is something very structured that has been shown to be effective, but I think it's probably the most popular thing we do. Parents don't get sober because of judges and lawyers. We can offer them services and we have an obligation to get them in the right level of treatment and help them, but you cannot replace and you cannot overestimate the importance and the effectiveness of that sort of peer support with a facilitated leader.
Well, I think you've said it all. Thank you so much for your thoughts and your comments.
I always love hearing Judge Meister talking about her experience with Circle, and I'm sure many of you have heard her speak to this. As we transition, I'm going to introduce Dallas, and as we transition to talking about what we're hoping to learn from this grant and from Circle of Parents in Recovery, I think it's important to note we do hope to build some evidence for this model and carry this in the spirit of family first all the way up the chain of prevention. So Dallas, I'll turn it to you to talk a little bit about evaluation.
Great, thanks so much, Megan. I'm Dallas Elgin with RTI International. Unfortunately, I have the, tough act of following Tony and Carrie's and Judge Meister's great discussions with a slide here on evaluation design, but nonetheless, I'll try to make this somewhat interactive and entertaining. But all that being said, I'm helping to oversee the evaluation with our colleagues at the Kemp Center at the University of Colorado. And I'll provide a brief high-level overview of the revised evaluation design. So for the evaluation of COPE, we're utilizing an outcome evaluation that consists of a matched quasi-experimental evaluation design. And what this is it's a rigorous evaluation design that meets the Title IV-E Prevention Services Clearinghouse standards for evaluation designs that provide moderate support for causal evidence. And this is really just another way of saying that the evaluation design provides us with greater confidence about COPE's impacts on families. So this matched quasi-experimental design involves comparing the outcomes for a treatment group against a comparison group that was eligible but did not receive the intervention. And so let's first discuss the treatment and comparison groups and the associated eligibility criteria. And we'll focus on the boxes at the top of this slide. So among both groups, there are common eligibility criteria, and that the families here reside in one of the 8 participating dancer counties, and each of these families have a new DNN case or a new dependency and neglect case. But as we'll discuss further on the following slides, eligible families will be referred to their local Circle of Parents in Recovery meetings. And it's how families respond to the referral that determines their membership in either the treatment or comparison groups. So the treatment group consists of those families who decide to attend one or more Circle of Parents meetings. The comparison group is those families who were referred but did not attend. And all this being said, the outcome evaluation utilizes these matched groups to then focus on the extent that COPE influences the following 3 outcomes. That's increased parental substance use recovery, increased permanency and safety for children and youth, and increased family functioning and child well-being. So the data for the outcome evaluation is really designed to minimize the burden for participating counties. And the evaluation really utilizes a pair of 2 data sources that I'll speak briefly about here. And the first is administrative data. So the evaluation team receives weekly DNN case data that is then reviewed by the evaluation team to just confirm eligibility, and we then share that data with Illuminate Colorado for the purposes of outreach and recruitment to eligible families. In addition, we collect intervention data on meeting attendance. So those families that attend Circle of Parents meetings, we collect meeting attendance data, but also data on protective factors and parental stress. And this data is collected by the Circle of Parents and Recovery facilitators. So again, I just want to reiterate that these data collection processes are really operating in the background so that staff can focus on referring eligible families to Circle of Parents and Recovery meetings. And that really being kind of a key component for the overall success of the evaluation. And just to briefly note, while we've primarily focused on the outcome evaluation, I did want to note that our colleagues at the Kemp Center are conducting a process evaluation that's really focused on understanding how the implementation of COPE influences child and family outcomes. And our colleagues at Kemp are collecting process evaluation data, but this was also done in a manner to really minimize the burden on participating counties. I'll turn things back over to Megan, but am always happy to answer any questions about the evaluation.
So I think we're going to talk about, so keep in mind the eligibility criteria that Dallas just noted. We're going to talk about families in your community, so families who are a part of what we call, dancer, the dancer approach. And that is it, right? Like that's your eligibility criteria for this project. So as we go to the next slide, Joan, we want to talk to you about what you can do. And so Joan, if you want to take those points, I will talk about the best practice 14 portion.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, so what you can do. We would like it if you could learn about your local Circle of Parents groups. You have them in your communities, you have your facilitators. Your facilitators are going to be coming to your courts and wanting to talk to your families and wanting to get a kind of a warm handoff and say, here's where I'm at. I'm meeting you where you are at. I have been in your place. I can talk to you about this. So we want you to meet your facilitator, get to know them, invite them in, give them also a warm welcome to your courts and to the people within your court community. Include them in your best court practice team meetings. I think Megan will speak to this a little bit, but just a reminder, this is in your dancer site agreement that you have signed. We're going to show you our local flyers in just a moment, but hand those flyers out to any parents that might benefit from a peer support group. Have them in a stack, have them all over your courts. Just hand them to parents going, here's a resource that might be of benefit and will really help you. And then our last piece to this is please refer to your local Circle of Parents groups. You're the one that can help get these parents into the groups by letting them know, yes, this group will help you. Yes, they're here. They want to support you. There are other parents that are in the same position with you. The social connection pieces are there, the concrete supports. Please refer. Megan, did you want to do this piece yet?
Yeah, if we can go to the next slide. So prior, our evaluation design was really about RPCs providing access to a consent form. And we've really, again, made this a more broad process to access the groups. And we've consolidated or condensed our consent process. And this flyer that you see here is what we hope that you all give to families. It provides the information about Circle of Parents groups and the details and how to access those groups, but also offers a little bit about the study that they are to be a part of. And we've provided multiple ways for them to get that information and also contact information for Dallas and I to learn a little bit more about how we will utilize some of the study information. Joan, anything you want to highlight on this flyer?
Yeah, just note that on the front, we have the location, the time, the date of when the groups are, and it has the contact information so families can reach out. They can go in, they can contact whatever they'd like to do. There are all that information is on the front of this flyer. All right.
Awesome.
And I think this next slide just really talks about who should refer. We're asking anyone in that court community, anyone who has contact with the families, the judges, the county attorneys, GALs, the RPCs, Department of Human Services, supervisors, caseworkers, mental health, substance use treatment providers, the CASA, court staff, any other people that are in your courts or part of your community are involved in these parents. We ask you to please, please, please refer them to the Circle of Parents group within your community. And also here is a link to Gray's Peak Strategy, sorry, Maureen. And it has the link to the flyers for each of your groups. So all you have to do is go in there, hit your different community or your county, open it up, print off those flyers. You can run them front and back, and then you have them and they're ready, and then they're ready to go. Anything that anyone would add to that?
So the flyer is available virtually, so you can text the flyer to families or provide it via email. But as Joe noted, if you need printed copies to have available in your courtroom, we are happy to help supply that as well. And so just reach out to us and we can provide those printed materials.
Right. And I think that's where any questions, comments, wonderings? All right. I'll let Megan, you want to take us out?
Yeah, well, we just thank you for first and foremost your participation in this project. Without your support, we won't learn anything from this project. And so we really, really appreciate you being a partner in this at the local level and supporting families in the process through access to a really worthy group. And so let us know if you have any questions. We thank you for being here and spending your lunch hour with us. And please remember to refer families and get them access to these groups. Thanks again for your participation. Enjoy the 16 minutes of your lunch hour before court starts up again and all that. So have a great one.
Okay, what did I do wrong with the volume in the video?
I don't know. I think when you share, I just have
Maureen,
to go.
do you want to end the recording real quick?
Yeah.
Thank you.